Christopher Nolan is one of the highest-grossing directors of all time, captivating audiences worldwide. Nolan creates mind-bending, heart-racing blockbusters that leave audiences on the edge of their seats. At the conclusion of his films, audiences are left questioning their realities due to Nolan's fascination with time and complex, unique breakdowns of narrative storytelling.
Time is the most cinematic of subjects, because before the movie camera came along, human beings had no way of seeing time backwards, slowed down, sped up.
In each of his films, Nolan finds new ways to manipulate time, utilizing non-linear structures to distort, layer, bend, and compress time. This distinct use of non-linear narratives upends audiences' perception of storytelling, forcing audiences to foster a unique empathy towards the protagonist based on their relationship and conceptualization of time. His fascination with time as a construct alters the way the reality and morality of characters are represented and strategically upends audience expectations of character personas. Nolan does this by framing the effect before the cause and presenting time as the antagonist.
Within his films, Nolan alters audience perceptions by emphasizing the effect of events before revealing the cause. This forces the audience to consider the outcome of protagonists' choices as they are occurring, allowing the audience to form their own conclusions and judgments only to invert these expectations. These perceptions are developed through the nonlinear structure of Nolan's films as the audience experiences time differently than the characters. In Nolan's breakout film Memento, Leonard, a man with anterograde amnesia, seeks to avenge his wife by hunting her murderer and rapist. Nolan tells the story in a nonlinear structure that reflects the disorientation and lack of information experienced by the protagonist.
Teddy, don't believe his lies. He is the one. Kill him.
This scene presents Leonard as a hero who is doing the wrong thing for the right reasons. Later in the film, Nolan reveals the cause of Leonard's actions, shifting audience opinions and perceptions of him.
You think I just want another puzzle to solve? Another John G to look for? You're John G. So you can be my John G.
Leonard chooses to lie to himself, selfishly choosing to have a purpose over the life of another, causing audiences to question his morality. Similarly, Nolan's most notable film, Inception, utilizes 5 separate levels of dream worlds to question characters' realities. At the heart of the story is Cobb's struggle to overcome his grief and return to his children. Nolan pushes the audience to empathize with Cobb by humanizing him through the loss of his wife. The audience is positioned to support Cobb's invasive actions as they allow him to return home to his children. However, this changes when Nolan reveals the cause of Mal's death.
The idea that caused you to question your reality came from me.
This scene distances the audience from Cobb and changes our perception of him as we learn that his grief is not just for the loss of his wife, but for the guilt of being responsible for altering her perception of reality. Nolan's structure of time as a prison through memories and dreams positions the audience to emphasize less with Cobb and deters them from making further allowances for his behavior. Dunkirk is a World War II story told from 3 perspectives over varying periods and lengths of time, which converge at strategic points of the narrative. Through the converging timelines, the audience witnesses character moments out of order through their experiences on land, sea, and air, distorting audience perception of characters' morality. Cillian Murphy's character is first spotted shivering among the wreckage. He becomes so desperate not to return to Dunkirk that he accidentally kills one of the men who saved him. Without knowing the actions leading up to Murphy's rescue, audiences are unable to sympathize with his struggles, viewing his character as selfish and cowardice. Nolan later reveals Murphy's character prior to the traumatic sinking of the boat. Nolan contrasts Murphy before and after the trauma, purposefully showing the havoc war can reap on a person's psyche. Through Nolan's portrayal of Murphy's character, Nolan encourages audiences to question how viewpoints at specific moments in story time shape the audience's judgment of individuals' morality. Similarly, Nolan manipulates time to bend audience perceptions in Interstellar, as Cooper travels through space and time in search of a habitable planet to save the human race. Nolan explores the idea of relativity and highlights the power of time and its impact on humanity, specifically love's transcendence of time and space.
Why? You're not listening! It says stay!
No, I'm coming back.
When?
Communicating across time to tell his former self to stay on Earth, Cooper, although righteous and good, is also human and a father wishing he hadn't lost time with his children. Cooper experiences moments of time from both past and future, offering different perspectives for audiences. By revisiting these moments, Nolan fosters new meaning among these characters and their place in time, altering the audience's perception of them. Across each of his films, Nolan utilizes a non-linear structure to show the effect of protagonists' choices prior to revealing the causes leading up to these decisions. This structure shapes audience perceptions of Leonard's self-deception, Cobb's tactlessness and denial, a soldier's moral compass, and Cooper's altruism.
In addition to showing the effect before the cause, Nolan uses time as an active antagonist within his films, working against his characters. Time is utilized to test characters' morality, reality, identity, and beliefs, driving their decisions and actions.
I'm not afraid of death. I'm an old physicist. I'm afraid of time.
The way that Nolan frames time aligns the audience with the protagonist's perception of time and the struggles it inflicts. By making time the ultimate antagonist, Nolan helps to justify the protagonist's choices and align the audience with them. Dunkirk stretches and compresses time through story time versus screen time to create a sense of urgency and empathy for the characters. Nolan's use of time in converging timelines creates an element of time running out, and audiences along with the characters rationalize moment-to-moment decisions. The musical score of Ticking Time also emphasizes the lack of time, which tests characters' humanity. As the film progresses, the rate at which the three timelines converge is expedited, increasing the sense of danger and urgency of the situation within the narrative story for both the characters and viewing audience. It is this lack of time which drives characters' actions and showcases the immorality of humanity when tested, establishing time as the enemy. Similarly, in Interstellar, the characters are constantly battling the passage of time. Due to its relativity, characters feel the weight of lifetimes, watching as years pass by in a matter of minutes. Cooper explains to Murph how time will move differently for them in space.
I mean, by the time I get back, we might even be the same age. You and me. What? Imagine that.
Nolan frames time as a non-renewable and invaluable resource for the characters, acting as a driving factor in their decisions.
You once told me that when you came back, we might be the same age. And today I'm the age you were when you left.
The audience empathizes with Cooper and his love for his family, understanding the pain he must feel being away from them and losing precious time that he can never get back.
Time is relative, okay? It can stretch and it can squeeze, but it can't run backwards. It just can't.
Nolan utilizes the passage of time to test humanity, evident through Cooper's relentless attempts to get back to his children and Dr. Mann's falsified data to be rescued out of desperation for human connection. Through these actions, both Cooper and Dr. Mann are trying to cheat time, but time cannot be controlled. Inception layers time to present its ambiguity and the distortion of reality through dreams. Nolan conveys time as a prison, experienced in memories and dreams, exposing the subjectivity of our brains and its malleability. These levels of Cobb's subconscious trap Cobb in his grief as he constantly travels back in time to these moments in life, preventing him from accepting reality, dealing with his grief, and returning to his children. Nolan presents the boundlessness of time in memories and dreams, exploring a realm in which time can be relived, altered, or created. This distortion of time dislodges Cobb's perception of reality and establishes time as the antagonist through exploiting humans' desires to live in a dream in order to escape from what is real. Likewise, in Memento, Leonard has lost his conception of time, never moving forward and constantly cycling backwards in time. This inability to process time controls his life. No amount of clues, tattoos, or notes can afford Leonard the missing moments of time. Nolan expresses time as an element essential to shaping identity. Leonard has lost his sense of identity through his incapacity to process and retain new events and information, leading him away from the man he once was, selfishly choosing to live a lie and commit murder rather than live a purposeless life. Across each of his films, Nolan frames time as the antagonist to show the havoc time can reap on humanity. Time reveals the limits characters will go to combat against the pressures of time, testing a soldier's righteousness, Cooper's isolation, Cobb's self-entrapment, and Leonard's identity.
Nolan creates films that are notable for their puzzling structures, requiring audiences to repeat viewings in order to fully comprehend the details enthralled in his complex stories. His use of time and his examination of compelling characters contributes to his success, shaping dynamic characters that are both fallible, authentic, and surprising. By understanding the effect of time to manipulate audience perceptions, Nolan explores the complexities of humanity through love, memory, courage, and knowledge. He understands how these intangible properties of the human experience are transcendent of time and space, making him one of the most gifted storytellers of the decade.